Good morning, folks. I'm going to make an art easel. I'm going to take you along on the journey. So this is a copy of one I made for my mother 30-something years ago that worked out really well. So we'll see what goes on. I'll give you a list of materials. I drew out a little cut sheet so I can go through each piece and cut them and set them aside while I'm, when I start building, because then I want to sand and stain and everything before I put it together. So here we go. Okay, folks, here's a little rundown of what I'm doing. This is not an actual, not a real good picture, but the front piece is going to be 80 inches high with a slot starting at 16 inches off the ground and going to 76 inches off, I should say, off the end of the lumber. 16 to 76 on an 80-inch piece. That will allow these pieces, which are the support mechanism, to slide up and down to adjust to the size of the canvas you're using. On the front here, there's going to be a U-shaped piece of wood that is fastened to the shelf, to the support, which is a 2-inch wide piece and a 3/4 inch piece in an L shape, with this support piece mounted on the bottom so that the bolt can go through. This piece here is this front piece with the slot in it. So it's going to have a support on the top, a smaller piece to 16 inches wide, I'm going to make it, and then a 24-inch piece for the bottom for the canvas. But I think I decided to make this 20 because most of my canvases won't be that big, so I'll make that 20 inches wide. So at the top of it, right here, there'll be a strap hinge. I have some in a box over in my parts shelf, and I'm going to fold it. I'm going to have a block in here so that when you fold it shut, these screw eyes and chain don't get all smashed between the two pieces and scratch up everything. So, and then when this lays down, at the bottom of this will be this cross member, which will, so it'll make it the same thickness as this, a 3/4 piece top and bottom. So it'll lay, there'll be the two side pieces will be parallel. So on the back of the front A piece here, it's going to have two screw eyes with a piece of jack chain going to a screw eye in the back piece, just to keep for a spreader. Okay, here's a cut sheet. They're all 3/4 inch thick, 4-inch or 1x4s, 3/4 inch by 3.5 inch pine. I just bought 2 or better because I'm going to stain it dark. So they do make Home Depot by me has really nice clear pine, but I thought that the extra was almost double the cost. It doesn't make much sense. It's going to have paint splattered all over it in a little while anyway. Okay, so the front piece is 80 inches by with a 3/8 slot from 16 to 76. The back piece, the spreader piece, is a 180-inch piece. The bottom foot of it is a 24-inch piece. The supports, which the little shelves that the canvas sits on, are made with a 2-inch by 20-inch piece and a 3/4 by 20-inch piece to make that L, and then a 2-inch by 16-inch piece and a 3/4 by 16-inch piece to make the top support. These pieces are 3.5 by 3.5 with a 1 3/4 inch radius on them that are going to mount on the bottom of the supports to be able to put them through the front slotted support of the easel, and then a 3/4 by 3.5 by 3.5 inch square, which is going to be the piece that is between the two uprights on the easel. So let's get started. Okay, here's a setup. My DeWalt saw on the fold-up tripod legs. I love it. My wife bought me that for Christmas. Well, I bought it and told her what she bought me for Christmas, pretty much. A DeWalt 12-inch cutoff saw on my little plastic cart here. My support, And this, let me move over here. This is a Thein separator, which is a dust separator, and if you'd like to know more about it, there is a, I'll put a link in the description, but there's a video that I made on, it's now on YouTube, that has 50,000 views, believe it or not. That's just amazes me. But it's a dust separator that keeps the majority of dust from, you know, in the bucket over here, keeps it from going into your shop vac. So it's really does a great job. So anyway, I run it on the table saw, you know, to just get rid of a good portion of the sawdust. So cutting the ends, both ends off to make it nice and square. Sometimes the factory edges are kind of ratty, so that's what I'm doing. I cut it at 80 1/4, and then I just cut a little bit off of there. Piece number 1. Do the same thing with piece number 2. This is the back of the, or the front, depending on whatever I make of it. If you're wondering why I didn't just cut off the end here, well, it won't slide over far enough, and I don't feel like dragging everything out of the way, so I just cut a little bit off just cut a little bit off at each end. Ouch. This piece seems to be a little sturdier, so I think I'm going to use it for the front with the groove in it. Just to be a little stronger. The base is nice and solid. Okay, I'm going to cut my my two 3.5-inch blocks. I'm just going to cut this to 8 inches, and then use the saber saw to cut the radiuses on them, then cut them to length, because it'll be something to grab onto. The 8-inch piece will be easier to grab onto than a little 3.5-inch block trying to do the saber saw. Or I'll maybe throw it on the bandsaw. We'll see what happens. Now I'll drill these holes. This is for the bolt to go through to hold onto the slotted main support. Sorry the heat's running, but I just want to show you a new button I put on my drill press to make it safer. The switch was way at the back and it was just easy. This is an old like 45-year-old drill press, and the spindle on top is just hanging out. So if you lean forward, I don't have any hair left, but if you had hair, you could get it caught in there. So this was on sale at Rockler a couple weeks ago, well, a week ago, for their Christmas thing. And so I mounted on here to make it a little safer. I can do this by going out to my car and getting my other battery. The one I have in here is dead, the DeWalt battery, and chopping it using my Sawzall, but it's cold outside, I have shorts on, and this takes 10 seconds. See? 10 seconds. File these ends a little bit. There we go. After filing, nice and smooth. These are the two that go through the front, through that support piece that goes under the canvas support, and then it goes through the front of the easel. Now I'm gonna cut the groove down the center of the easel. Alright, let me show you a little bit of how this is going to work. Okay, here's how this goes on. This is the face. This is the face of the easel, and this knob. Here's the shelf that's going to be on it. It'll look like that. So you get an L shape from the end to hold the canvas, and that'll be shot onto there. So that allows you to take this and undo it and slide it up and down to any location and tighten her back up to get your canvas at any level. That's the way I did to my Maz. I had one of the small metal wing nuts, and it was not comfortable for my hands, so that these knobs are going to be a lot better. Okay, I've shot together, glued and crown stapled together these are the supports. From the end it looks like that. Here's the 24-inch one. It has this, and then this thing mounts up against the the main front part of the easel with the groove in it. And the knob is right here to adjust it. You can slide it up and down to hold your canvas whatever size you want. And I just got to sand these, and then I'll start staining stuff. I'm getting close. I'm got almost all the parts together. So. Now I got the cross piece. Get up here where you can see my old better. Here's the base foot to keep it, you know, upright. Here's the upper mount. This will actually go this way and down over the top of the canvas. You know, come down and hold the canvas here. This is the 24-inch one. It'll be something like this with the canvas here. And then the two pieces here are the one with the groove and the one for the back. That's all my pieces. I'm ready to start staining. Everything's sanded, eased edges. I'm not, you know, like I said, nothing super fancy. I think I'm going to take the palm sander and do the base, the bottom foot again, but everything's glued and nailed together. So I'll take a couple videos during the staining process, see what it, you know, see how it's going. So see you in a bit.
So you've got a plan. Perhaps you're planning to murder everybody.
Not necessarily. It depends.
Depends on what?
We're at the head of a large line of adaptation. If you're able to get into the satellite defense systems, you can become the absolute master of the universe.
Beyond of your reach. However, you've still got one chance to save yourself. Tell me the formula for unpriming the reactor that you and the Math Professor forgot to turn off.
Poor John. You still want to save me. You left us alone. I've been listening to all the...
Alright, here's the first coat of stain on them. I'm going to stain them a couple times to get them darker. But, there you go. Alright. I guess I'm going to have to put a block up on top, folks. Alright, here I just put it together temporarily to show you what it's like. I put a block back in here. I needed to because the hinge was too long. It was into the groove. I didn't think about that when I started. The nut and washer can go up higher. I'll just cut this out, which was another mistake on my part, but I make them. What are you going to do? Anyway, there's the upper piece. The canvas goes inside here and locks it in. Piece goes on the bottom, and you can adjust it any amount of adjustment that you want. So if you want to sit down, you can put it really low. If you want to stand up, you can put it high. So I need to cut that little bit out of there. So anyway, there we go. Okay, folks, you'll hear cheesy sci-fi movie music in the background. Sorry about that. Well, no, I'm not sorry, because I love cheesy sci-fi movies. Anyway, I'm putting these rubber, like clear rubber feet on the bottom of this thing. They're kind of sticky rubber, you know, so they won't, not sticky, but they're like silicone where they won't slide on the carpet or whatever on a hard floor. So I'm gonna put those on. All right, here's this is before finish, but it actually turned out pretty nice. And there's the slot. You can't see the slot really that well. There you can a little bit. I'm just getting ready to put some coat of varnish on it. I'm going to use spar varnish because it's very waterproof, and I have some left. So it should be good for getting water on it, whatever, when you're painting too. So first coat of spar varnish is on this thing. And I wait 4 hours, sand it with 220 sandpaper, give it a second coat, and we're good. Well, there we're done. 2 coats of spar varnish, which will make it waterproof. And these 2 parts, the main things, the supports, they're also done. So